Jesus, I will ponder now on your holy passion. With your Spirit me endow for such meditation. Grant that I in love and faith may the image cherish, all your suffering, pain, and death, that I may not perish. Grant that I your passion view with repentant grieving. Let me not bring shame to you by unholy living. How could I refuse to shun every sinful pleasure, since for me God's only Son suffered without measure?
Station 12, John chapter 19, verses 25 through 27. But standing by the cross of Jesus were his mother and his mother's sister, Mary the wife of Clopas, and Mary Magdalene. And Jesus saw his mother and the disciple whom he loved standing nearby, and he said to his mother, "Woman, behold your son." Then he said to the disciple, "Behold your mother." And from that hour the disciple took her to his own home. The line, "What wondrous love is this?" takes on a very different meaning when connected to a text like this. Just one day previously, Jesus had said to his disciples in the upper room, "A new commandment I give to you, that you love one another. Just as I have loved you, you also are to love one another. By this, all people will know that you are my disciples, if you have love for one another." How has Jesus loved his disciples? Well, Jesus, their Lord and Master, has now shown himself to be one who's not simply a, quote, worthy leader, a snappy theologian, or even a social influencer. Rather, their Lord and Master has shown himself to be one who practices what he preaches. Even in the midst of his final dying minutes of life, Jesus chooses not to focus on himself. He chooses not to focus on the pain and agony that he is physically going through. He chooses not to focus on the injustice that has been done to him, but rather he chooses to focus on the needs of those who have gathered together at the foot of his cross. For Mary, the wife of Clopas, Mary Magdalene, Mary, his own mother, and the disciple whom he loved. And this is the good news, that Jesus creates community. While Jesus could have trusted his Father to provide for the needs of those who had gathered together there at the foot of his own cross, Jesus chooses to provide in his final dying minutes for the needs of those who have gathered there. And he chooses to provide for their needs by doing something that is so simplistic and yet so defining of the work of our God throughout time and history, creating something that he created in the very beginning for them: community. But this community that Jesus creates from the cross is going to be different than any community that has come before. This community is not going to be defined by lineage or heritage. This community is not going to be defined by gender, age, or any societal norms. This community is not simply a gathering together of like-minded individuals. Rather, this community is going to gather together people who are drastically different in the eyes of the world. This community will be a gathering together of those who voted for both Republican and also Democratic candidates. This community will bring together those who responded to the coronavirus in drastically different ways. This community will bring together those who view the role of the government in very different ways. This community will be a gathering together of those who are haves and have-nots in the eyes of society, those who are rich and those who are poor, those who are even Iowa and Iowa State fans. This community is going to be unified by the faith that God has graciously and mercifully given to them through his Son, Jesus Christ. This community is going to be defined in a different way. This community is going to be defined by the love that has been shown to them by Christ and the love that they show to one another. This community was created for such a time as this, to share the gospel, the good news of Jesus Christ in creative ways. Because the community that Jesus creates from the cross is the church.